What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to give my prediction of game week 37 in the Premier League. Lunchtime kickoff is between Fulham and Manchester City. Man City obviously top of the league, going for the title. They're fourth in a row. Fulham have nothing to play for there, should be on the beach. I mean, they were playing with kites the other day in training. So I've gone with the 2-1 City win. I do think it'll be close because Fulham have played some good football. Last season it was 2-1 at Craven Cottage. Early in the season, Man City did destroy Fulham, but they did get a bit lucky in that game as well with some of the decisions. Craven Cottage is a tough place to go. Arsenal have lost there, Tottenham have been battered there. I don't expect City to go there and steamroll Fulham, but I do expect them to dominate the majority of the ball. And I think with the squad they've got, pretty much full strength, they should be able to get the job done. Bournemouth against Brentford. I've gone 2-0 to Bournemouth. Again, at the Vitality, I'd back Bournemouth against a lot of teams in the league. You know, they did lose their last game against Arsenal, but I think they've got the quality. Brentford haven't looked great lately. Tony hasn't scored in 10 games in the league. Like, he's in an awful run of form. It's Bournemouth's last home game of the season. I back them to get the win. Everton against Sheffield United. Now, Everton are in a pretty decent run of form, unbeaten in their last 4 games. They've only conceded 1 goal in that run as well. Sheffield United are already down. You know, they have played all right, to be fair, over the last few weeks, especially since Cameron Archer's come back in, but they just have those moments, man. They'll have a 10-minute spell where they'll concede 3 or 4 goals and everything falls apart for them. Everton have kept clean sheets in all of their last 4 home league games, and I think they're going to keep another one here. I've gone 2-0 to the Toffees. Been a bit of a difficult season for them, obviously, with the whole points deduction thing. The fact that they've gone through some really tough spells as well. But I think Sean Dyche has done a really good job, and he should be in the manager of the season debate because he has done a really good job. And if he had a more clinical striker, Everton would have been fighting for Europe this season. Newcastle against Brighton. It's a bit of a hard one to call. This Brighton are getting more of their players, but they played fantastically against Aston Villa. But Newcastle in a fantastic run of form. They smashed Brighton here last season. I think they're going to win again. I've gone 3-1. Eddie Howe has won his last 5 games at home against Brighton. Newcastle seem to have found their mojo again with the goal scoring and everything. They're also getting a lot of players back from injury. The likes of Joel Linton and Almiron returned last time out. Pope could return in goals while he's on the bench. Even Trippier could be back. And we've all seen likes of Wilson, Livramento come back as well. So yeah, they're looking really good, to be fair. It's their last home game of the season. They've been fantastic at St James's all season. They're obviously fighting for the Europa League. They're in prime position to get 6th right now. I think, to be honest, they should be able to win this without too much hassle. Brighton don't really have anything to play for. I think it's a bit too late for them to seriously think about Europe now. A miracle would be needed if Brighton were to get Europe next season. Tottenham against Burnley. I've gone with a 4-2 Tottenham win. They did win 5-2 at Turf Moor, but they were also playing much better football back then. Burnley did get hammered by Newcastle last time out, but before that they were actually in a pretty good run of form with only 1 defeat in 9 games. They're not going to make it easy for Tottenham. I think they might even take the lead. Tottenham will get 4 goals and then they'll score at the end, or Tottenham will be 4-0 up and Burnley will get 2 late ones. Because Tottenham do give you chances. They've conceded so many goals lately. They've lost 4 on the bounce as well, but this is not the sort of game they can be affording to not get a win in. But Burnley do need to win as well to maintain their chances of staying in the league next season. We've got a huge game next week against Nottingham Forest, where again they'll need to win at home to survive, but they're going to need to get points here as well. I think Heung-min Son should have a good game. I'm backing James Maddison to finally put an end to the horrible run of form he's on. And he's such a good player, and he was excellent at the start of the season, arguably the best player in the league at the start of the season. And after his injury, since coming back, he just hasn't been the same. So hopefully, you know, this is the sort of game where I think he could really thrive. West Ham United against Luton Town. A bit of a weird one, because I think if this game had happened before the announcement that Moyes is leaving, I'd maybe have backed Luton to get something, because they're fighting right at the bottom and the end of the table. West Ham have nothing to play for now. But because it's Moyes' last home game, his last game at the London Stadium as the manager of West Ham United, I'm backing West Ham to get a big win. I've gone 5-1 to the Hammers. I think Jared Bowen's going to get a hat-trick. They're going to want to send him off in style, man. Like, Moyes came in when West Ham won the relegation battle, kept them up, then got them into Europe 3 years in a row, winning a European trophy. And while I do think it's the right decision now for him to move on, you know, he's obviously done so much for that football club. They should be eternally grateful to him. Hopefully he can find a good job next year as well if he decides that's what he wants to do, or if he wants to have a break, whatever. But it'd be a really nice ending to his legacy in East London if he was to get a big win. And with Luton, you know, they've played some really good football this season. I really like Rob Edwards. I just don't think that they've got the quality, and sometimes like West Ham should be fully up for it, the crowd should be fully up for it. With it being Moyes' last game, I think Luton will really struggle. Wolves against Crystal Palace, this is a really hard game for me to call because Wolves are in a pretty bad run of form, but Palace are in a fantastic run of form. So, I mean, on paper, it kind of seems like it should be an easy Palace win. I've been really like umming and ahhing between a 2-1 Palace win and a 2-2 draw. I've gone with a 2-2 draw, but I can absolutely see Palace winning this, and I think if there was to be a winner, it would be them. Wolves overall at home this season have been pretty good, like despite their pretty poor recent form. For the most part, they have been very good at home. But the run of form Palace are in is just phenomenal. Like, they've been fantastic all over the pitch. In the box, Mateta's looking ruthless. Elisa and Eze are both fit and are shining. Adam Morton looks like one of the signings of the season, is finally joining in January. And at the back, they've got Gahey returning. So, yeah, realistically, this could be a very good win for Palace. But at the same time, Wolves are working players like Mateus Cunha and Hwang Hee-chan back to full fitness. They've got a couple games under their belts now, so I would expect them to be much better in this game at home. It's their last home game of the season. I don't really think they can afford to lose this game just because of the poor run of form they're on. But at the same time, Palace are looking a lot better right now. Nottingham Forest against Chelsea. I'm going with a 2-1 Forest win. I know it's controversial. I did predict them to get a point against Man City a couple of weeks ago, and they almost did, to be fair to them. They should have won that game if Chris Wood remembered how to shoot. It's Nottingham Forest, man. They beat Arsenal last year. At the City ground, they're so dangerous. And I don't know, with Chelsea have been absolutely phenomenal lately. Madueke is in fantastic form. Palmer's been great, as he always is. Gallagher's been fantastic. Caicedo's looking much better. Even Jackson, is on fantastic form. And it's all coincided with Enzo Fernandez not being in the team. But I just think that when they come up against a team that will apply a bit of pressure and make it intimidating, I don't know how they're going to be able to deal with that. It'll be interesting to see. Obviously, we know that Forest are going to bring a hostile atmosphere, as they always do. You know, some of the best supporters in the league. It's not a game Forest necessarily have to win, but it's a game that if they win here, they're safe. So, you know, I mean, I'm sure they'd like to make it official before the last day of the season, because on the last day they're playing against Burnley, who, you know, are going to be at home and could make it tough. I think Callum Hudson-Odoi is going to score another screamer here as well against his old team. It would be fitting. Manchester United against Arsenal. I've gone with a 3-1 Arsenal win. I was so close to hitting 5-1 because I honestly think this could be whatever the score Arsenal want it to be. But kind of like why I didn't predict Liverpool to win at Old Trafford. Arsenal just don't have a good record there. I do think that they're much more likely than Liverpool to win though, because I feel like they're not as scared as Liverpool are typically at Old Trafford. And in recent years they've had an alright record there as well. The football they're playing has been absolutely top class, by far the best in the world in my opinion. Well, maybe except for Leverkusen. Manchester United still don't have any defenders returning. Martinez is back in training, but Tenaga said he's not going to play. I think even if he does play, he's not going to be fit enough, and he will just get run ragged. Fernandez will be back. I don't think that's going to make any difference. However, Saka is potentially going to miss this match as well, which is a shame because he is a really good player, but he's looked off it for a few months now. I think it would do him some good to have a bit of time off. I just think Arsenal need to win this game, man. Like, Man Utd are a shambles. They're absolutely awful. There's no reason why Arsenal can't go to Old Trafford and win by 4 or 5 goals. I've gone respectable just because I don't know how they're going to handle the pressure at a stadium where they don't get positive results. But they won away at Tottenham. If they can win away at Tottenham, there's no reason why they can't win away at Manchester United. Finally, Aston Villa against Liverpool. Now, like the Crystal Palace Wolves game, I'm just really don't know whether it's going to be a 2-2 draw or 2-1 Villa win. But I have also gone with a 2-2 draw here. Now, Villa were knocked out of the Europa Conference League by Olympiacos on Thursday night. It was a pretty bad performance from them. They were hammered on aggregate. Obviously, there could be a bit of a, bad morale in their camp. Like, obviously, they have had an extra day. Usually they'll play on a Sunday, but they're playing on a Monday, so they'll have an extra day to recover. It's Liverpool's last away game under Jurgen Klopp. It's Aston Villa's last home game of the season, a ground where they've had so much success this season. Has fallen away a little bit over the last couple of months, but it's still a very good record. Both sides scored a lot of goals this season. Both sides can be open defensively. I mean, Liverpool, even against Tottenham, it looked like they had the game buried and they allowed Tottenham to get back into it. Both sides can go a bit missing a little bit. Like, Villa at the start of the season, absolutely fantastic. They're playing phenomenal football. The way they outclassed Manchester City at Villa Park was just unbelievable. But then they've had games where they look really bad. And the same with Liverpool, there have been some games, especially earlier on in the season, mainly, well, to be fair, after Klopp announced he was leaving, they were playing some really good football. But then in recent months, it's definitely fallen away. So you don't know which of either side you're going to get. It's a really hard game to call. Liverpool could win this 3-1, Villa could win this 3-1. But yeah, I've gone a bit safe, I can't lie. Those are my game week predictions. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I'll see you soon for another video.